Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Maulidiyah Cholisa Hafshah. My student ID number is 193200013 and I am from Discourse Analysis Big Class. Here I would like to explain about Positivism, Discourse Analysis, Cohesion. Let's start from the number 1, the definition of cohesion. Do you know what is cohesion? Okay, we begin from the definition of cohesion. Cohesion is language of the context inside. And how about the function of cohesion? The function of cohesion is, in order for a discourse or text to be comfortable to read, so it must be cohesive and coherent. Number 2 is the types of cohesion. There are 2 types of cohesion. The first is grammatical cohesion. What is grammatical cohesion? Grammatical cohesion is cohesion related to grammatical elements. And the second type of cohesion is lexical cohesion. Lexical cohesion is cohesion based on lexical elements or word choice. Number 3 is types of grammatical cohesion. There are 3 types of grammatical cohesion. The first is reference. The second is substitution. Substitution is the replacement of a word or phrase with a filler word, such as want, so, or do, to avoid repetition. And the third is ellipsis. Ellipsis is the omission of one or more words which must be supplied by the listeners or a reader. Number 1 is references, or we can call it refer to. There are 2 kinds of references. The first is exophora. Exophora is depending on the context outside the text. For example, I just finished eating meatballs. As we know, the word I here is depending on the context outside the text, because the writer or the speaker didn't explain it before. And the second is endophora. Endophora is depending on the text. There are 2 kinds of endophora. The first is anaphora. Anaphora is the pronouns that link back to something that went before in the preceding text. The example is, Lisa studied hard for her exam. Here, the pronoun her is linked back to something that went before in the preceding text. And the something is here is Lisa. And the second is cataphora. Cataphora is the pronouns that link forward to a referent in the text that follows. The example is, because she studied hard, Lisa became the best student. Here, the pronoun she is linked forward to Lisa. Okay, the next example is from the short story. The title is The Bundle of Sticks. Here, there are many references that we can find in the story. Here is the analysis of endophoric reference in the short story. We can find some anaphoric reference in there, such as in the first line, once upon a time there was an old man who lived in a village with his 3 sons. Here, the pronoun his link back to the old man. And in line 2 until 3, although his 3 sons were hard workers, they quarreled all the time. The old man tried to unite them, but failed. The pronoun they and them refer back to the 3 sons, not to the workers. And the next, in line 4 until 5, months passed by and the old man became sick. He asked his sons to remain united, but they failed to listen to him. The pronoun he and him link back to the old man. And the next, in line 4 until 6. Months passed by, and the old man became sick. He asked his sons to remain united, but they failed to listen to him. At that moment, the old man decided to teach them a lesson, to forget their differences and come together in unity. The pronoun they, them, and their refer to the sons. And the last, in line 7 until 8, the old man summoned his sons, then proceeded to tell them, "I will provide you with a bundle of sticks." Here, the pronoun I refers to the old man, while the pronoun them and you refer to the sons. The next is substitution. The example is also taken from the short story, and the title is "The Bundle of Sticks." We can find some example of substitution here. Here, the analysis of substitution. In line 10, and so the sons agreed. The old man provided them with a bundle of 10 sticks each. Here we understand that the filler word "so" means because of what that said, the sons agreed. And the next is in line 18 until 19, the old man said, "My dear sons, see, breaking every single stick individually was easy for you, but breaking them in a bundle you could not do." Here, the filler word "do" substitutes for breaking them. The next is ellipsis, and here the example is same as before from the short story of the bundle of sticks. Here, the analysis of ellipsis. In line 2 until 3, the old man tried to unite them but failed. The phrase "but failed" is ellipsis because it is only the beginning of the clause. The whole clause is "but failed to unite them." And the next is in line 8, "Separate each stick and then break each into 2." The phrase "break each" is ellipsis. The whole sentence is "break each stick." And the last is in line 8 until 9. The one who finishes first will be rewarded more than the others. Here, the phrase "the others" is ellipsis because it is only the beginning of the clause. The whole clause is "the others who finishes." The last is number 4, types of lexical cohesion. There are 4 types of lexical cohesion. The first is repetition, which is simply repeated words or word phrases threading through the text. And the second is synonyms. Synonym means use another words that mean the same or almost the same. The third is superordinate. For example, the Jaguar can be referred by the car. And the fourth is general words that can be general nouns or general verbs. General nouns as in thing, stuff, place, person, woman, man, while general verbs as in do and happen. We begin from the first, that is repetition. Here, the example of repetition, the short story of the bundle of sticks. The analysis of repetition. There is a lot of repetition in this text or in the short story text. The first is old man. We can find the word old man in lines 1 until 2, 3 until 4, 5, 7, 9, 13, and 15. The next is three sounds in lines 1 and 15. And the next is his sounds in lines 3 and 5. The next is the sounds in lines 7 until 8 and 11 until 12. The next is sticks in line 5, 7 until 8 and 11. The next is bundle of sticks in lines 5 and 9. And the last is my dear sounds in lines 9 and 13. It is also seen that there are several repetitions of the verb, such as failed in lines 2 until 3. The next is break in lines 6 until 7 and 11. And the last is asked in line 3 and 15. The next is synonyms. Here the example of synonym from the bundle of stick short story. We can find some synonym here. The analysis of synonyms. There are two synonyms in the text. The first is the verbs to provide in line 5 and to give in line 9. They are two verbs that have the same meaning, namely memberi. And the last is the conjunction also in line 1 and despite in line 11. They are two conjunctions that have the same meaning, namely meskipun. The next is analysis of superordinate, because in the short story there is no superordinate. So here I take example from the internet, Holiday and Hassan. The example is Harris bought himself a new Jaguar. He practically lives in the car. Here, car refers back to Jaguar, and the car is superordinate of the Jaguar. The last is general word. The example is also taken from the short story of The Bundle of Sticks. Here, the analysis of general words. The only general words in the text is there was an old man who lived in a village with his 3 sons. This is how introduced the story between the father and his sons. The general words here is man and sons. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thanks for attention. Sorry for my mistake. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.